something over there. Well, let's take a look at this real quick, because I do want to get your guys' take on. I mean, like you're saying, Alex, suddenly that whole thing definitely changed over here in terms of like standings, and there's a huge gap. It looked like a couple of teams could be pulled down and stuff like that. United looks like accumulated. You never know, I guess, but enough points, and so has West Ham. Looks like it's going to be 2 out of those 3: Wolves, Ipswich, Leicester. I know we looked at this maybe like a month or so ago. I want to kind of go around and see if the votes have changed. Shay, who's going down out of those 3?
I'm going to keep it where it's at. I think Ipswich, Leicester will be the last 2. I think Wolves, I know they still look like crap too, but like you said, how Alex said, they have quality. Cunha's just got that big contract, so he's going to try to obviously secure a move somewhere else and get his stats up. But they're also they got really good team. They got good team. I think they'll be fine. But I do see United somehow blowing it, and they're going to finish probably 16th. And if Wolves can scrape by, that'll be just the icing on the cake. At West Ham, they're going to be just clinching their holes the entire season.
I remember last year, you scroll up a little bit. Last year we were talking, it's not even close. I remember last year there was a conversation we had about, I think it was Chelsea and United, I think, at the time. And we were looking at it was sometime around this time of year, and we were like, well, who's going to finish lower than 10? Who's going to finish up? I honestly, looking at those, the point difference, there is no way United is finishing it. There's no way they're closing an 8-point gap with Brighton. So they're definitely going to be finishing in the second half. I don't even think Spurs. So both Spurs and United will not be there. And I think there's a good chance that they will eliminate each other out of the Europa. So somebody's going to be holding the short end of the stick. Sully, who's dropping?
As much as I agree with Shay. I think it's going to stay the same. Although it would be just incredible. Last match day, Jamie Vardy scores a goal to keep Leicester in the Prem, and then walks off into the sunset. That would be the.
Or they wheel him off
the burst into flames like a phoenix.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, like the Spinal Tap drummer, he spontaneously combusts. That would be a dream scenario, but I don't see it. Wolves is going to stay up. Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton are going down.
Glenn, agree? Or somebody say today?
No, definitely agree. It's a shame it's a little bit boring. I will say that there's a period of the season for Wolves. It's a shame it's not a little bit tighter and that Southampton are cut adrift, because say they were a little closer to everyone, that would make it a little bit more interesting. But from March 8th through April 5th, Wolves are playing Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich in a row, which I feel like is going to be that run of games that really defines their season at the bottom, because they're all 6-pointers, right? They're all their relegation rivals. That's going to be huge. So I feel like we'll have a pretty good feeling of where Wolves are at by, towards the start of April. Yeah, I think they have too much quality, as we've said. I think Leicester are just sinking. They didn't invest enough in January. The fans are really upset about that. I think Van Nistelrooy was a pretty naive appointment on reflection, and I kind of thought that at the time. Had a bit of a false dawn with him. Not to say he's a bad manager, because I don't necessarily believe that, but I didn't think he had the experience for a relegation battle, first series, really first proper job in the Prem. That's just with a poor budget, right, and a pretty sad-looking squad, to be honest. So,
what top Bundesliga team is he going to go to?
No. He's going to be the general manager of our academy.
Perfect.
So we're waiting for him to get canned so we can hire him over there. A little step down. But I'll be honest, that's the ultimate case of hustling, by the way. He beats Leicester City as a United manager, and Leicester City hires him just to find out that he's a fraud. I don't think he is. It was probably too soon for him, especially for a team fighting relegation. I think that's a different mindset, different battle altogether. Having said that, Alex, who makes that fight and lives to see another day in the Premier League?
Yeah, when we last talked about it, I think Palace were way down there and they've clawed their way out. I think there was one other team that West Ham was a lot closer. But yeah, I think honestly it's going to be probably the 3 that it is now. I think there's enough quality. I think Glenn's right. That stretch will define really all of their seasons. And there's enough quality in that Wolves team that I think they'll kind of keep a 2 to 5 point gap the whole time and stay up. I'd love it if Ipswich stayed up. I love it if Delap could bring them across the line. And there's obviously still a chance that could happen. I said it would. My initial gut would that it would be someone between Ipswich and Leicester staying up and going down. And I thought maybe Everton would be down there with them, but they have not. So that's the difference to me, is that Everton and Palace have clawed their way out. But I hope Ipswich stays up. It'd be kind of fun.
I mean, yeah, my heart wants Ipswich just for sentimental reasons. Like, it would be good to see, but you look at Cunha. That's the guy who can keep a team up by himself, I think. So my plan is to sell Nunez to Saudi Arabia and go get Cunha with that money. I mean, I think that would be golden. Like, he's so good on the ball technically and stuff too. And he's the guy that can get you that goal. I mean, the goal he scored against this week, and like the things he can do, I think he's a threat. And, you know, goals kind of like save you from relegation. They've obviously scored 35 goals to Ipswich's 23 and Leicester's 25. So I think they get goals. They get that run that you were just mentioning. I think gets them enough points to carry on. Archie's asking, this is something that I was actually going to ask you guys about a lot of other topics, but we started this academy talk, so it's just kind of like which those are conversations I enjoy. So we'll definitely take a look at that. I'll be honest with you, if you guys I watched Leeds Sunderland the other day. Because as I was working, it was on, so I was like watching it. And honestly, if you want to go back retro, like watch soccer from 15, 20 years ago, like very physical. Half those would be red cards right now in the Premier League. No VAR. It's like, it was old. So it was like a time machine. Like, you went back and watched the game 15 years ago.
You've never experienced the championship, Temujin, and it shows. It shows.
Yeah.
You have not lived. Everyone else here is like, oh yeah, no VAR, shit refereeing. Oh, this is home. This is home.
Hard-nosed soccer, they actually,
oh my God.
Oh, nice, love it.
Lots of lumping it forward. We were born into this. Yeah, we know what that's like.
Yeah, I'm a spoiled brat when it comes to that. It was fun though. I'm sure it's not fun when you're trying to get out of it, but it's fun to look down and enjoy.
Yeah, with Mitro, it was a lot of fun.
Well, thanks a lot, boys, for hopping on this week. And thanks to those joining us in the chats and stuff like that. Give us a like. Were you about to say something, Shay? I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to answer Archie's question. I'll say Leeds. Well, it's theirs to lose this year again, just like it was last year. They are number one.
Now you guys are going to make me talk about this now and pull it up. Okay, championship.
But I will say, speaking of just bad relegation, I did not realize Luton Town is dead last. Is about to get relegated to League
But look how close it is at the bottom there. Look how close that is. How fun is that? Well, not for a team at the bottom.
We're over here talking about Premier League points, and they're all like the 30s.
And we lost to Plymouth, for God's sakes. What the hell is going on there, Glenn?
They were dead last too by several points. They've gone on a run. Plymouth have. Yeah.
So we're saying Leeds, Sheffield United. Any objections to Sheffield United making it?
Sheffield probably come back up, and then it's going to be that playoff between 3 and 6.
So who do you guys have out of those?
I'll take Burnley just so JJ Watt.
Ugh.
That's the reason not to take Burnley, to be honest with you.
Look at that 39 goals. Imagine being a Burnley fan. Scott Parker at the helm.
Yep.
And every match is a 1-0. He puts 8 center backs on.
9 goals against? Is that right? 33 games?
It's been 14 games, I think, since they've given up a goal. 12 or 14, something like that.
What do they have? Like 11 guys lined up inside the line? Or what?
It's ridiculous. It's terrible.
This is the perfect foil to our academy.
Literally football terrorism. Football terrorism is awful.
Wow, that I did not know that. That is
well. And so, did you know the bet? So JJ Watt made a bet with the keeper at Burnley, where he said, "If you don't give up another goal the rest of the year, I'll come out of retirement and play for the Bengals." Because the keeper's a Bengals fan, and since that moment, he hasn't given.
That's why I wanted to happen. Okay, I just think JJ Watt had to come out of retirement.
So, Alex, that was like a sports Mad Libs right there.
I know, it really was. It really was.
Brand new sentence.
So the Bengals are like, we don't want his old ass in here.
Bengals are like, oh my God. Yeah, it's a he hasn't given up a goal. It's been, I think, 12 or 13 matches.
We should do a live watch along for a Burnley game.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, thank you.
We'll time that out, but
Scott Parker.
it will
For one
probably
lifetime.
lose us followers. So, but while you're watching.